Hi, it's Jen. Welcome to UnDesk Me Part 4. And today we're going to continue activating the deep muscles of your inner corset. We're going to continue to stimulate your proprioception. And we're getting you ready for active sitting and active standing. We're continuing to teach your body how to pick itself up so that you can handle any challenge. So let's get started. I'm going to start the way we started last video, part 3, against the wall. So I've got 3 points of connection: sacrum, shoulder blades, back of head. Oops, yes. You can tuck the chin, lengthen the back of the neck, and reposture the face and the neck. Externally rotate top of each arm and bring the elbows to the sides of the body. Now, let's find that posture shelf. So this is from part 3. We shifted the rib cage back into an imaginary band or belt. Tuck the chin, reposturing the face and the neck. And we're just going to bring your thumbs back. As you bring your thumbs back, this is where we get to do a couple of things. We're going to work on your elongation. Remember, you have 4 blocks of weight stacked. And what we want to do is we want to activate the space between the blocks. So we got your hips, your ribs, your shoulders, and your head. Keep your thumbs going back. Opening up your chest. Tuck your chin. Get that space between your shoulders and your head. And then maybe you shake out your hips a little bit, elongating the low back and that space between your bottom rib and your hip. Nice and long. Then squeeze the elbows to the sides of the body and watch your shoulders. If they go forward, take a moment, exhale, externally rotate them again, elongate between the bottom rib and hip. And then I'm going to have you exhale and extend your arms. Big reach out, and then squeeze them back in. Now, let's add opposition from video 2. Press into the ground. And when you press into the ground, you feel how you can get a little taller. Remember, the body works in opposition. Something goes down, that's your weight pressing into the ground through your feet, so something can go up. That's at length and extension. So tailbone, down, feel the big stretch, find that posture shelf. And then as you exhale and reach, you'll lift your sternum a little bit, you'll feel your abdominals active, and then squeeze those elbows back. And then again, you'll feel how you elongate, send the rib cage back as you reach those hands out, big open chest, and squeeze the elbows back. We're activating the muscles of your deep inner corset. Very important. It's impossible for you to have strong posture without these muscles. Exhale, big reach. Your hips are the foundation of your core, so they have to be in line. Now, there's that little natural curve in your spine. Don't worry about flattening that. You can bring your rib cage back without flattening the curve. Exhale, reach out. Come back in. Nice squeeze as you bring those arms in. Feel how your shoulders can slide down the back as you reach those arms out as long as you can, and even try to lock out your elbows for a moment. So we don't want to go into hyperextension, but we are looking for a nice long line from shoulder to the fingertips. Now, we're going to go into we're going to do 3 exercises from here now that we've warmed up, and you can use weights or no weight. Now, externally rotating top of each arm, always resetting. Tuck the chin, reposture the head, neck, lengthen the low back, activating all those muscles in the deep inner corset. And then we're going to exhale, reach out, bend the elbows, palms forward. So this is your goalpost position. And we're going to do 3 different exercises here. Allow that shoulder girdle to slide into place. Bring that posture shelf to the roller. And then I'm going to have you rotate and come on back up. So we go from goalpost to a rotation through the shoulder, arm stay at 90 degrees. We're going to rotate, come back up, exhale, keeping that posture shelf to the roller. Now, let's try another one. We're going to close the elbows. So, squeeze your shoulders around the roller best you can. Find that posture shelf. And then I'm going to have you bring your elbows, not touching, but in front of you. Now, shoulders tend to slide forward here. So, when you close your elbows, you want to make sure that your shoulders are back towards the wall, towards the roller. And then we're going to open back up. So we're going to close, shoulders stay at the roller, elbows go forward as if they're just sitting on a shelf here. Always checking in with your feet, your hips, your rib cage, your shoulders, and your head. 3 points of connection. Bring that shoulder girdle back. Bring that posture shelf back. Length through the torso, abdominals active, hips connected. Hips and shoulders are like the bookends of your core. Then, here we are, goal post. This time we're gonna rotate down and we're gonna punch straight forward. So, shoulders go towards the wall as your hands go forward because the body works in opposition. Don't let them come with, keep them back. Then we're gonna widen. Again, exhale. And then pull the elbows apart. Keep the chin tucked. 4 blocks of weight stacked. You don't need to use weights. I'm only using 3 pounds. 3 pounds per hand. We'll do 10. So, rib cage goes back as the hands go forward. Tucking the chin, then at ease, always resetting, external rotation, elbows to the side, posture shelf intact, reposture the head, neck, lengthen the low back, 3 points of connection on the roller, 4 blocks of weight, goal post, palms forward. Now, a little tiny bit of rotation because we're going to go towards the forehead. So you're going to retract your shoulder blades, ground your shoulders into your back as the hands go up and forward, maybe a little higher. And then you'll pull them on back. Exhale. Really feeling this in your core, tucking your tail, keeping your hips under your rib cage. If your hips are not involved, it is not a core exercise. Now, if you're having trouble with this one, because let's say you can't keep your shoulder down when your hand goes, I want you to backtrack. Backtrack to a combination of the first 2 exercises, which would be a rotation, extension, widen, back to goal post, and a closing. Rotation, exhale, and close. So this is a good way to strengthen your inner corset and prepare yourself for an overhead in which you're able to ground your shoulder girdle and maintain your inner corset. We're going to start this next series on our knees, adding on to what we did last week. So externally rotate, top of each arm, bring your rib cage back, feel your 4 blocks of weight stack, your hips, your ribs, your shoulders, and your head, tailbone down, long hip flexors. And then what we're going to do is you're going to pick a foot, either leg, you're going to take a forward step, and the opposite hand is going to come on up. Shoulders stay down, and then we'll bring that back. And we'll try it again. Tailbone down. You're going to bring one leg forward and the opposite arm. We're moving in contra body movement position, or CBMP, and feel how your hips have to get involved, and they come underneath the rib cage before you step forward. And it's always opposite arm, opposite leg. Posture shelf stays in place so the 4 blocks of weight can stay stacked. Back toe is curled under. And you want to be careful that you don't shoot your hips forward so that you're catching yourself. So you're actually going to lift your rib cage up, use all those muscles in your inner corset, pick yourself up off of your hips before you step forward. Learning to pick yourself up is the key to active sitting. You'll feel it right here. Imagine if you pick up a child. When you pick up that child, you probably put one hand, under their arms. You don't go into their armpits, but right about here, you pick them up and you lift them up. Now imagine you're being picked up. So you pick yourself up, and it's only through elongation that we really get control. So as you elongate and stack those blocks of weight, you can control them from giving into momentum. You'll feel your abdominals active, your hips underneath you. Only when your hips are active is it a true core exercise. Shoulders are down, sliding right into your back, and now we're going to add on. One forward step, and we're going into a hurdle step. So we're going to shift the hips back, press into the front foot, lift yourself up, CBMP, change arms, hurdle step, bring that knee up into your chest, and then exit the move the way you entered it, leg, hips back, land. So, get your hips underneath you, 4 blocks of weight stacked, and then to move up, we want to make sure that our joints are working together with your posture muscles. Bring your posture shelf back, hips back, knee and ankle, nice and aligned. And now you're going to lift yourself up right off the top of your legs. And then we're going to change our CBMP into a hurdle step, knee up, exit, back to start. Your heart rate will go up during these. You'll get a little warm. Now, we're going to do a set. I'm going to grab some weights. So I always set up when I get my weights, external rotation, bring my rib cage back into my posture shelf, and then here we go. CBMP, shift the hips back, pick yourself up, whoop, hurdle step, working through my proprioception and my balance. So I'm going to pull the rib cage back, total awareness of where I am at as I step forward, abdominals active, hip goes back as you go up, always working in opposition, and then I'm going to shift again. Multi-joint function, working with my inner corset, posture shelf, stimulating my proprioception, core and hips working together. Let's do one more each side. Always getting reset. Feeling those 4 blocks of weight stay stacked. Always starting with the hips because they really get quiet when you sit a lot. They are awake. Take a break. So we're going to scooch as close as we can to your wall, and we're going to use your roller as a guide. So we're going to put the roller against your baseboard. Scooch as close as you can, booty to the roller. I'm going to have you pivot up here. Oh, there's a little space there. You can get rid of it, you don't need it. So we're going to focus on your hips, the foundation of your posture. We're going to do a 2-part bridge combination. And so your feet are up on the wall. We're going to slide your feet down just so that your feet and your heels and your toes are on the same plane. And then hands down, get your posture shelf on the mat. And then we're going to press into your heels and we're going to come on up. You can put your hands down after that. Palms are down, my triceps are active. Press into the heels. I want you to send one foot up. You can point it or flex it, it doesn't matter. And this is what we're gonna do. Keeping your knees together, you're gonna roll down, drop your hips, just let them just sort of kiss the mat and then come back up. Always pressing through the heel. We're gonna do 4 of these. Keeping the chest open and the shoulders down. because this connection here, this your glute and your hamstring right there, I like to call it your thigh. It shuts down after a lot of sitting, so we want to keep that nice and active. You can point the toe for this one. This is thread the needle. We're going to go ahead and take that foot and thread it under this other leg and then drop the hip. So there's a little bit of twist, but you're grounding yourself through your strong, fabulous shoulder girdle. So tuck those chins, abdominal active. You might need to lengthen your low back. It's going to tap the floor, and then the hips straighten back out, and that comes back up. So you're going to bend the knee, lace that through. You drop one hip, and notice the knee that you're looking at, it stays straight. We're just going to do 4. You can do as many as you like, but I want you to get a feel for it. I want you to feel how you use the heel of the standing foot, and then I'll have you roll down, switch feet, and stretch that out. Woo! Go ahead and press that away. Try to feel both corners of your hips while you stretch. And then we're going to set up on the other side. Same way. Feet up the wall, slide them down just enough so that the heel and the toe is on the same plane. Then set your posture. Posture shelf. Send the rib cage back. Tuck the chin to reposture the face and the neck. And then I'm going to have you bring yourself up. Your knee and your ankle are maybe on the same plane. Point the other toe. Okay, you're not up too high because we want to keep your shoulders nice and stable here. And then we're going to drop on down. Let your hips just sort of kiss the mat. And come back up. Knees are together. Feeling this to activate that thigh on the other side. Nice open chest, triceps active. Just 4, but you could do as many as you want later. Now, thread the needle. We all have a stronger side and a weaker side, and it's only through twisting that you find it out. So, this other leg, you're going to drop that hip and you get a twist as it taps on the floor on the other side of you, and then you bring the foot up. So, do the hip, twist the hip, you drop the hip, and you'll feel how you're stabilizing through your posture muscles. Your deep inner corset is working to stabilize you. Keep those shoulders down. Last one here. We're going to roll down and give that a stretch. My favorite part. Last exercise in this series is opposition training, again, from the wall, kind of like the Spider-Man that we did in part 2, but from a different direction. Widen those feet, find your roller, and go ahead and put your roller between your feet. Now, I'm going to have you scooch down wherever that needs to be so that you can bring your hands right over your shoulders. We're going to lower the roller a little bit because we want to be able to retract your shoulder blades. So find that external rotation, top of each arm, retract each shoulder blade, and then posture shelf. And then I'm going to have you press into the roller, and the response will be lifting the hips up off the mat. And then we're going to roll them back down. Now, if you feel that this is very much in your neck and your chest, then release best you can. Find your posture shelf. Reposture your face and neck each time. Pressing into that roller, external rotation, all the tricks that we have to activate your inner corset. And then you'll exhale, press the roller into the wall, activating your abdominals, lifting your hips up and down. Posture shelf, tuck the chin, exhale, press into the roller and lift your hips up. Gently bring them down. You will feel this through your triceps, but most importantly, this connection here, these lateral lines. This helps you stay nice and strong while you're sitting, and keep reposturing the head and the neck. Keep finding that engagement. Remember, you're training your posture muscles. So you got to stay focused on those. If you have any questions at all on part 4, feel free to message me. Next week, part 5, we're going to go upside down so we can work on some co-activation. So I will see you next week for UnDesk Me part 5.